Hey brothers and sisters, after watching a Ken Peters Prophecy Club video, I realized a major revelation about Trump, the last Trump, and barren Trump, which means desolation, like the abomination of desolation in Mark 13:14. Well, Ken Peters says that the Antichrist would be very suave individual, almost chiseled features, almost supernaturally so. Trump doesn't really fit that description. He's not really very well spoken, like Ken Peters says in his video. While a lot of the rituals Trump has been doing fits the description of the Antichrist, including being boastful like the little horn, it seems as if maybe he's not the Antichrist, but the last Trump, barren, might be. In Ken Peters' Prophecy Club video, he said everyone looked like they were coming out of their mother's funeral, and the Antichrist looked supernaturally chiseled, like a Nephilim giant, like a man of renown, and Trump, barren Trump, towers over Trump. That rhymes with Trump Tower. Now, Ken Peters, he has recently passed away in 2021, and he started a church called Corona, and Corona means crown, like what happened with Trump's warp speed. While I believe Ken Peters was a true prophet, they actually held a celebration of his death on 9/11/2021, 20 years after 2001. While Trump might be the boastful little horn, I think the little horn also embodies the rest of the family of Trump.
It was almost as though the world had all become a third world nation completely behind the times. The whole world was experiencing this despair and this chaos. It was that like every person on earth had just left their mother's funeral. I can tell you this, the man that I saw on the television, the man that could do signs and wonders and fix all the problems, I will tell you this tonight, I will never forget his face, ever. As long as I live, I will never forget his face. He had kind of a chiseled look to his face. For a lack of terms, he was the most handsome man I had ever seen. Everything about his appearance was almost perfect. And when he spoke, there was just a very strange quality about him.
Barron Trump leaving Melania's mother's funeral, kind of like the Slender Man Antichrist, and his face almost looks exactly like the painting of Lucifer.
At staggering rates, people were buying right into this plan that this man was releasing through the airwaves. At staggering rates. No resistance. No one was fighting it. No one was saying anything publicly. I can't tell you if the airwaves were controlled to the point where you couldn't come on and say certain things. It's just about like that right now in the U.S., by the way. He said to me that he had not been right with the Lord, and then he began immediately to tell me God's plan for man's salvation. He pulled this little pocket book out about this big and began to flip to scripture. There wasn't any babies over the age of 2. And I don't know if that's because, children, when they hit 2, they start to change. They have some kind of I call it rebellion or something. You tell them not to touch the cookies and they look at you and take it anyways, But we began to pick up children everywhere. And we began to take care of these children. They were the only ones that seemed to have any peace at this time anywhere in the whole earth. They could meet people's physical needs. They would always run into people who were in need, and they would be able to meet their needs and then somehow lead them to Christ. I know now that that's what I saw. I saw dead people resurrected from the graves. One cemetery plot headstone would have a person come out of the dirt, and one next to it would not. Dirt was receiving a small explosion or something and breaking open. It wasn't just in, say, the United States. It was all over. And when people would begin to come out, their appearance, 2 things about their appearance first astounded me. The first thing was that the clothes they were wearing seemed to be like a choir robe. They were kind of like a long dress, so to speak. Those outfits that entertainers wear when they're under the lights, and the lights, key in on them, and the sequins kind of make the light just shoot off and they glimmer. These people came out in the middle of the day glimmering. Men, although they had these robes on, appeared to be very, very masculine. And yet when women were resurrected, they looked very feminine.